Welcome back, everyone, to this special edition of Dale's Rails. Why do I have this passenger set of a Rock Island Northern engine running around my layout, you may ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. I had the opportunity this weekend to visit the Great Plains Transportation Museum in Wichita, Kansas. This is a museum that is dedicated to the restoration of different engines and rolling stock that serve the Kansas area. And amongst them is the primary reason that I took this trip was to see the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Northern style passenger engine number 3768 that sits atop the overpass over Douglas Street. And while I was there, they had another engine that they are currently taking donations for its restoration. And I thought you guys might enjoy taking the trip with me, so I'm bringing you along. So I hope you have as much fun as I did. Today, I decided to take a trip to downtown Wichita. What you're looking at here is Union Station is now a commercial office building. That's the train depot. I believe that was built and completed in 1914. Across the street is the old Rock Island depot. Here's the Great Plains Transportation Museum. We'll go inside and take a look. Here's a bell they let you ring. I don't think I'm going to ring it though. That's the engine outside. They're going to restore. Before picture there on the left, after picture on the right. Yeah, out there in front of the station, we're walking the same area that Old West lawmen and outlaws walked along that route. So there is some historic significance there for those of you that are into the historical aspects of model railroading. Okay, this is a depiction of Wichita, Kansas in the early days. This is the area where we're standing outside. What I'm being told, this right here, this dirt road here is Douglas Street, which is right outside that we just looked down where in front of Union Station here. And so this was what it looked like in the early 1800s. Everything is depicted as it would have been then, which I thought was interesting. And then over here, this picture shows Wichita 1900s.
In 1939,
Okay.
for passenger service. It is a 44 Northern type steam locomotive and about 8 feet longer than one of the only operational 44s, known as 3751, doing excursion trips in California. It ran in passenger service with a top speed of up to 110 miles an hour and ran in passenger service up until the 1940s, where it was then moved into freight service and had its top speed moved to 70 miles per hour. And after that, it got retired in the 1950s and eventually got brought here, just up the stairs.
Well, we're going inside.
Alright, so we'll start off with one of the more recognizable things. The bell. And then that still works. On the engineer side, where to the right, the whistle would be able to be sounded, but we don't have that. But really, you could push this forward, ring the bell, pull it back to sound the whistle.
Okay.
And there's over here would be like idle position for the throttle, so the speed would be controlled with this. And then back here would be about full speed, maybe? I don't know. I really only heard about this from other tours that, that other people here have done. This here is the reverser that is currently stuck in forward position.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of other levers. Some of them are missing the actual lever. There's a signal phone meter in the middle of the cab, because I guess that was getting mixed in with whatever water was in the firebox to like burn whatever oil or something that was in there. Because this is an oil burning steam engine, so there's no slope in the tender.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, there's a bunch of other mechanics in it. There's to your right, over where the fireman sits, there's a lever that controls the firebox right here. And then there's two other levers. I think this would just drop something, and then this, don't know what it does. But you are allowed to mess around with all the controls and ring the bell. Is AT&SF in Santa Fe number 93. Originally built in 1967, also for passenger service. It ran in passenger service with a top speed of 90 to 100 miles per hour and ran in passenger service up until the mid-1970s, where it was then moved into freight service. And during that time, in freight service, it went through a bunch of renumberings and a bunch of different paint schemes, which apparently became a reason for BNSF to retire their engine, which they were a fairly new railway at the time. If I was able to, I would go inside of the cab and show all the different controls on the engineers. Being 103 and 5943, eventually it got painted to the pinstripe paint scheme, keeping that same number, and eventually in the 1980s being moved into blue bonnet with the same number, 5943. It then, during the failed Southern Pacific Santa Fe merger, got a different paint scheme known as Kodachrome. So it would be yellow, gray, and red, I believe. Or maybe just yellow and red. And it had its number changed to 5993, where it kept that same number after being moved back into Pacific Railway number 1395, I believe. I'm not exactly sure about its history, but you are allowed to go inside of that one if you would like to after this tour is over.
Okay.
And then we have former Santa Fe and Central Kansas Railway wide vision caboose number 1959. It's used for crews to check up on their trains from the sides and the top. And you can go inside of it and you can see whatever's in there.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, they had a little desk where the crew would fill out paperwork on their train. And the steps in here are a little bit steep.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, if you were able to make it up, you would be able to check up on your train. And they did have a heater inside as well.
Okay, that's kind of neat.
Yeah. And then we recently just finished up the Rock Island caboose down there, where we just slapped on a bunch of paint and then painted over that paint, and we got a pretty good looking result.
Yeah.
Older Amtrak baggage car next to the Union Pacific. And then down this little road train stop, we have a high vision caboose from the St. Louis and San Francisco Railway, also known as the Frisco. We have the Whitcomb, which is a 1950s built switcher, I would guess. And next to that, we have Dorothy, another switcher. And then after that, we have a boxcar, and in between Dorothy and that boxcar, we have the Plymouth, our only operational engine here that we use for moving around all the trains.
The little blue one there?
Yep.
That's still operational, huh?
Yeah. I would say it would be built somewhere around the 50s. Our Santa Fe boxcar number 277144 is I don't think it's an excess height car, which I don't see any sign that says.
You're working on, or they're working on now, or?
I guess we kind of stopped working on that for the time being. We might restore that another time. Over here, we have two 1950s EMD built switchers. It has two different exhaust stacks, and the headlights, there's only one of them on both ends of the engine. You are allowed to go
Kind of steep for me with one hand.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
So on the engineer side, we have controls for the lights, signal stuff. There's also the horn, which doesn't work, and I'm not sure of the type. And then there's the automatic brake, I believe, which controls an entire air brake system for a train. And then there's the independent brake, which controls only a single locomotive's air brake systems. So like, I was going to use this example for 93, but since it's not open, I'll use the example here. So like, if you were switching around in a yard and you had to go pick up a different load of cars and attach them to a train that was almost done, you would use the independent brake because you're only one engine, because you detached from your cars to go pick up the rest of them. And once you got the cars, you would go back to using the auto brake. And then these two levers, I don't know what they are or what they do. And if you want to, again, you are allowed to mess with everything.
It's kind of neat looking at it all. Yeah, it's not very good vision here, is it? But it's quite a bit better over here, so that's what's kind of surprising. This is a lot higher up than I was expecting it to be. Kind of hard to get far enough back up here to get a picture of all of it. Those drivers are about 6 feet tall. All right, what we got is an engine pulling the caboose here. Okay, they got a little speeder sitting here, so I thought I'd show that. Pretty simple. Go over and take a look at this side. Hard to get very close to the railing here. Okay, that's Union Station, built in 1914. Across the street there is the original Rock Island Depot, built in 1887. I believe it was built by the Kansas, Chicago, and Nebraska Railroad, if I'm not mistaken. And it served as a passenger station until this station was built, and then it was kind of shut down after that. It's currently being used as a commercial building. A lot of old buildings downtown here, of course. What you're looking at here is Douglas. They got the street sign over there is Chisholm Trail. See on the truck sides there, Timken. So these had Timken trucks. I mean, this is a 484 Northern. Take a good look at the valve gear, centric crank. Tender had 6-wheel Timken trucks too. Okay, one more look before we leave. The reason this was elevated, at one time there was over 30 tracks that came through here, and cars couldn't even get across from one side to the other, so they had to elevate this. A problem that's no longer a problem anymore, apparently, because there's plenty of cars making it across here now. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our little visit. A few things here before we go that I thought might be good to explain to you, and especially if you're planning on coming this way and want to visit. That the Rock Island Depot that I filmed, it was renamed to the Depot. It's a collaboration between Ziggy's Pizza and Walnut River Brewing Company, where they serve bar-style food. And that upper level over Douglas there, where the 3768 was parked, that was the area used for passenger service when passenger trains were the mode of transportation back in the day, as you could tell by the passenger platforms. As I said in the video, there were so many trains daily that crossed there and were blocked from crossing from one side of Douglas to the other. And that's for the reason for the overpass. And for those of you that are interested, the Great Plains Transportation Museum, like I said, is located at 700 East Douglas here in Wichita. It's open from 9 to 4 on Saturday only. And the Wichita Toy Train Museum is located just several blocks east of the Great Plains Transportation Museum on Douglas at 130 South Laura, which is at the corner of Douglas and Laura. They are open 10 to 5 on Saturday only. Next time you come by this way, you can visit both and even eat lunch at the depot. Ziggy's, by the way, makes great pizzas. I especially like their cheese and kickin' chicken, which is a jalapeno style chicken pizza. It's the bomb. If you do come this way, there are several events coming up. One in July, I noticed, where you can pay one fee and it gives you access to both Great Plains Transportation Museum and the Wichita Toy Train Museum, I believe, for $14.75, I think was the fee. Otherwise, the fee to see the trains at the Great Plains Transportation Museum, I think it's $9.75 for adults, $6.75, I believe, for children, 5 and over. if you're looking to come this way, I would probably avoid the time frame for May 31st to June 8th. I mean, you can come then. That's when we have our Riverfest, and the downtown area there is all blocked off. Parking is very hard to find. That parking lot that I was standing just outside of the Transportation Museum where I was filming the overpass, now that is a public parking lot that is free parking in there on the weekends. So that's something to keep in mind. And I believe September, the Great Plains Transportation Museum has another one of their events coming up at that time too. You might check into that. That might be another good time to come. Where I think they do have some festivities planned. But I hope you guys enjoyed the trip as much as I did. And until next time, you're watching Dale's Rails. Thanks for watching.